And that's a big blow to the chances of the Eagles. Kelechi Iheanacho? No, not exactly him. It's Wilfred Ndidi. He's been ruled out of the tournament, and his place comes a replacement that I'll let you know in a jiffy. Meanwhile, it's going to be quite taxing for the teams in the Premier League. 33 African players are flying the flags of the national team. And now what will be the fate of the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester United, City, Tottenham Hotspur as the players depart for the Mundial right here in Africa. And not forgetting other sports. We have boxing on the menu this day, and Otto Wallin is saying, hey, Anthony Joshua gave me a tougher fight than Tyson Fury just a few months ago. A lovely evening to you, and many thanks for joining us on Rapid Sports right here on Rapid 96.5 FM in the city of Umahia. My name is Val Edu, and I'm the midfield maestro, set to take you through the latest just speaking around in the world of sport. Not alone, I've got Emma Explicit. Yeah, he's captaining me definitely to winning laurels right here in this part of the world. Emma, good evening to you. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening, Eval. It's nice to be here in the studio with you. Good evening, everybody. Don't forget, I'm still your boy, my Explicit. And whenever you call me Captain Explicit, I would definitely lead your team to victory. And good enough, I have El Midfield Maestro in the team. So just be rest assured that will lead you to victory.
Definitely victory is assured, but I don't know for the Eagles because let's do it again is a slogan for this year's African Cup of Nations. But how prepared are the Eagles? That's a very big question. We've got a lot of big stories coming in from the camp of the Super Eagles, from the replacement of Wilfred Ndidi to Coach Jose Peseiro talking tough on how he feels his team has the best attack in the whole of Africa heading into this competition. And surely we'd also love to hear from you on the other side of the radio when we throw open the phone lines. 0916-033-3965 is the number to dial, and 0916-00000965 is the other number to dial when we throw open our phone lines to let you have your say on the show. But before we go, let's begin starting from the sports of boxing. And off we go, starting off with boxing, where following Otto Wallin's knockout a victory against Anthony Joshua. Well, the Swedish boxer says the British Nigerian is a tougher opponent than WBC champion Tyson Fury. Well, before the day of reckoning in Saudi Arabia on December 23rd, some boxing fans had backed Wallin to spring an upset and derail a planned fight between Joshua and Deontay Wilder. However, after Wilder was easily beaten by Joseph Parker on the undercard, Joshua took control in the main event. The former two-time heavyweight champion dominated Wallin from the first bell and forced the stoppage after just 5 rounds of boxing in Riyadh, who has now turned to the new home of boxing. Well, this marked Wallin's second career defeat, with the first coming as a decision loss to Fury, and the Swede contender has refused to make any excuses, instead praising Joshua for a great performance. And the man had to put possibly a bit of how will I put it now? A bit of a mark and saying that the fight he faced against Anthony Joshua was far better than what he actually experienced against Tyson Fury. Let's take a listen to the man, Otto Wallin, as he speaks about Joshua being a tougher opponent compared to the fight against Tyson Fury.
Of course, took him very seriously, and I know that he's one of the best fighters out there. And I really have no excuses. He was just better, I think. He did really well. He used his reach well. He hit me with some really good shots. And yeah, that was he was just better, I think. He hit me with some good body shots. And, I'm always ready for that, of course, be prepared for that. But I think they had a good game plan. I think maybe I haven't watched the fight, but he felt like a very good fighter. And obviously it was a much tougher fight than what I had with Fury. And he did really well. Maybe he's found his home with Ben Davison. I don't know.
All right, a better fight compared to what I experienced against Tyson Fury, says Otto Wallin. But Wallin's nose was bleeding after 5 rounds of boxing, and his longtime coach, Joey Gamache, made the bold decision to throw in the towel and pull the fighter out early. And the man reacting to that particular incident where his trainer had to wave the white flag and say, hey, we need peace. No more war here, please. Get me out of here before I get killed or my boxer gets killed. Well, Otto Wallin says he has no problem with his trainer, Gamache, for doing that. Let's take a listen to Otto Wallin once again reacting to Gamache's throwing in the towel in the 5th round.
I didn't disagree with him. Joey told me, he said, I'm going to stop it. And I didn't say anything. Joey's been with me for 10 years, and he's seen me in training, seen me in almost all my fights, and he's never pulled me out of anything. So I trust Joey. He's always looking out for me, and I feel very happy that I have a trainer that just puts my health first. And there's a life after boxing, so I'm really appreciative that he's looking out for me. And if you're a trainer, you see your guy out there, comes back every round, he looks worse in the corner. So I haven't watched the fight, but I trust Joey.
Well, he trusts his long-term trainer, Joey. 10 years in the making, not an easy feat. But again, how are the mighty fallen here? Otto Wallin, ahead of this particular bout, was talking tough and saying he's going in there to rock the boat of Anthony Joshua. For Joshua, he came with maybe low in confidence because the year 2023 hasn't been magnificent for him either. Sure. We could recall that even the 2 fights he had under his belt against German Franklin and Robert Helenius were not really fights that made statements. You have to go in there and give us a show.
That's true.
Robert Helenius, he took him to 10 rounds. German Franklin by points as well. So many boxing enthusiasts were not really interested. Didn't really fancy Joshua this 2023 last year after back-to-back losses against Alexander Usyk and Andy Ruiz Jr. 3 defeats on his record already, and with the likes of Tyson Fury talking so tough, the man got scared and he didn't say much during the pre-fight build-up. But hey, you hear Otto Wallin saying that, hey, this man gave me a better fight compared to what I experienced against Tyson Fury a few years ago.
Okay, I'm talking about Anthony Joshua and Otto Wallin. I think why Joshua didn't talk was that he believes that, Joshua had been talking for a while, and he said to himself, I've been talking. I think the best thing to do is to give the show instead of doing a lot of talking. Before the game, Otto Wallin was talking tough, and Joshua had this belief that for the past 3 matches, I've talked tough and nothing came out of it. So he needed to show the working. In mathematics, they say show full working. So he needed to show full working and show Otto Wallin that boxing is not a game of the mouth, but a game that you win after is either by knockout or by a point. So he actually had to give Otto Wallin a good run for his money, and that was a very good fight. I think it was a better way for Anthony Joshua to end 2023, because the year 2023, I believe, if you ask him, was one of his worst years as a boxer, and he decided to end it on a very high note on that particular match day in December. And he actually did that, I also believe, because he wanted so much to fight against Tyson Fury, because before the game came, there was an agreement that whoever wins between the game between Anthony Joshua and Otto Wallin, and the game between Tyson Fury and these other guys, that whoever wins between the two of them, they were believing that they will win so that they can fight themselves. And Anthony Joshua had to keep his own part of the bargain. And Tyson Fury couldn't keep his own because he actually lost the fight. So I should say kudos to Anthony Joshua for ending 2023 on high. I think it will be a very good boost for him in 2024.
Well, Fury will just sit where he is in his house and will be smiling over the heavens and said, hey, I've gotten one L, to my illustrious career. But hey, Fury wasn't in action. He, after the fight against Ngannou, he's waiting for the February showdown against Alexander Usyk, where we'll have the undisputed heavyweight bout between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. Don't forget, Tyson Fury has got that WBC belt right now. And for Alexander Usyk, he's got the IBF, IBO, WBA and WBO belt at the moment. So it's really interesting time as far as boxing enthusiasts are concerned in this part of the world. But let's keep talking boxing, because it's been a fine year, for Anthony Joshua, or to say the least, a fine year for him. If you look at the statistics now, 27 victories, 24 via way of knockout, 3 losses. But the year 2023, he looked back at the year and said, we really took our time to select the fights and get the results. You have victories against Robert Helenius, like I said earlier, Jermaine Franklin, and the icing on the cake was Otto Wallin. A 5th round victory. The combinations, the shots, for the first time in a very long while, I saw Joshua come alive. That Joshua I knew when he fought Vladimir Klitschko.
Yeah.
That Joshua I knew when he fought the likes of Derek Chisora, Dylan White in the past, Alexander Povetkin. That Joshua I knew that could throw punches.
Alive.
He came alive finally for the first time in a very long while after his defeats to Andy Ruiz Jr., then back-to-back against Alexander Usyk. So finally, possibly a trainer that's been able to, how do I put it, re-engineer his inner energy.
Yeah.
And force him to let those punches go, because Joshua was afraid of throw punches.
Throwing punches,
so finally, he was letting the punches fly against Otto Wallin.
And Otto Wallin had it rough that very day, because for his trainer to call for a quit, to call for the end of the game after 5 rounds. After the 5th round, the trainer had to wave, I beg, Muna, I beg, make my player come outside.
Not violence.
It's just a game. Don't kill him. Well, I think that was a very good statement that Joshua actually made in that particular bout.
A magnificent statement of intent that really sent shockwaves down the spines for the likes of Deontay Wilder, who were at the losing end, losing to Joseph Parker. No, not many saw that one coming, because they thought that Wilder had it all sorted out and all planned. But hey, the New Zealander let the punches fly and rocked the boat of Deontay Wilder by points, and not a unanimous decision this day, because the scorecards were really in favor of Joseph Parker. So that particular bout we were anticipating for the start of the year has now been fractured, because we were expecting, if Joshua wins against Otto Wallin and Wilder wins against Parker, we have that fight for 2024. But hey, it's fractured now, because Parker actually beat Deontay Wilder. But what's the plan, for Anthony Joshua coming 2024? What is he going to look like now? Well, his man, Eddie Hearn, his promoter, he's speaking this time around. He's so loud-mouthed because they got that victory, and Wilder didn't get his. Well, let's take a listen to Eddie Hearn, who is giving us prediction ahead of 2024.
Funny old game, isn't it? Go on, Anthony Joshua. Go on, my son. We're going to smash it up. Watch the year AJ is going to have in 2024. Just watch. Going to knock out Ngannou. He's going to knock out Wilder. He's going to knock out Fury. I feel like John Fury. And he'll fight,
acting like John Fury.
He'll fight any man.
Well, you can call him the loud-mouthed Eddie Hearn. He's a promoter of Anthony Joshua, and he's saying that he's going to knock out in 2024 Ngannou, Fury, Wilder. Well, there's a long list of potential fighters for the year in terms of those who can be dance partners of Anthony Joshua on the same ring on the same day, and the likes of Filip Hrgovic, Zhilei Zhang, the Chinese fighter who did a good job in 2023. The likes of Daniel Dubois also makes the short list. Not forgetting Joe Joyce, I beg your pardon, not Daniel Dubois now. He beat Joe Joyce over two bouts. Yes. And you have the likes of Andy Ruiz Jr. is still there. His name is still being peddled around. And how can I forget Francis Ngannou? The man who wants to sneak himself into the heavyweight division, like after putting a good show against Joshua. Tyson Fury just a few months ago. But how do you see Anthony Joshua's 2024 shaping up? Do you think we've gotten that man back? Because many boxing enthusiasts lost faith in his potential and what he could do.
Well, I expect Joshua to actually take the last fight he had against what's his name again? The last
Otto
fight
Wallin?
he had in December against Otto Wallin. I believe that should have given him the morale booster to believe that everything is possible. You know, when you lose games back to back, you tend to lose confidence, and it affects almost all your matches. And Joshua has gotten that particular fight. He won that bout, and coming into 2024, should be able to take that as a morale booster to boost his confidence going into this year, knowing that he has the power punch. That's all I call it. He has the power punch to be able to defeat anybody that he meets on the ring. Well, he should actually go back, and if I'm his trainer, I believe one of the things I'll tell him is go back to the days of your glory, where he had 4 titles to his name. So what actually made him win those titles? What was he doing in the ring that he's not doing now? He should go back, get those tips, improve on them, and actually fight through 2024. He can actually, I believe, Joshua to have gotten that confidence back to beat anybody that he faces in the ring.
All right, it's going to be a very interesting year for boxing enthusiasts and boxing followers around the world, and we shouldn't forget, we'll be served a palatable meal in this first start of the year. Yeah, February. We'll have that fight between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. Both fighters still undefeated as far as their professional career is concerned. For Tyson Fury, he is the undisputed WBC champion right now, and hey, he's got that bout against Alexander Usyk, who's got the titles I mentioned earlier, IBF, IBO, WBA, and WBO titles of the moment. So those belts will be on the line in February. What a fight that will be. And if Fury gets to win that one, well, there's
he already has one title.
If that man wins it, there's no need anybody stopping him from trash talking, because the man will tell you that I've beaten everybody in the world.
Yes.
Joshua, I'll give you a 90-10 percentage if you want to fight me. I'm giving you 2 hours to sign it, or I'll walk away. That's how good the man is. But that's it for boxing, and we're anticipating a lovely 2024 as far as the sport is concerned. Thank God for Saudi Arabia. They've offered to sponsor and host some of the biggest fights we've seen in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's now the new mecca of boxing. The new home of boxing is no longer in the US.
Yeah.
It's now somewhere
in Saudi.
In Saudi Arabia, and the Saudi guys have been splashing the cash to make sure that they do host the biggest of bouts. Day of reckoning, December 23rd. Joshua maybe might have just bounced back to reckoning as far as the world is concerned. Well, that's that for boxing right now. Let's turn our attention now talking football on the show. Well, the camp of the Super Eagles is rocking, and that's exactly where we have to go to. Let's talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria, because there's no tension.
I know a place where the land is greener and diversity brings beauty, just like the rainbow.
TY Mix.
It's hard to replace such a good feeling when the news of unity fills the air while the wind blows.
Super Eagles, no tension. You are winning by the grace of God. You shall win, you shall win, you shall win. Sawa, 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 sawa. No matter whatever, you go, let's go. 1 go, 2 go, 3 go, 4 go. No matter whatever, you go, let's go. 1 go, 2 go, 3 go, 4 go.
One spirit, one nation, on the call, indivisible, indestructible. Super Eagles, your victory, Papa God. I say, don't sign them, God, don't stand back. Just go out there, grab them. Oh yeah, I be one of them, Godfather. Super Eagles, oh yo yo. Handle it, handle it, handle it, handle it.
Hard to
Go, go.
replace such a good feeling when the news of unity fills the air while the wind blows.
Super Eagles, no tension. You are winning by the grace of God. You shall win, you shall win, you shall win.
Well, can we do it again? A fourth African Cup of Nations, because many are saying that there's tension in the camp of the Super Eagles. Don't tell me there's no tension when there's no Wilfred Ndidi. And also, we don't also have the full services of some of our best legs. And we also have, I saw a post today on X and somebody said, goalkeeper, Lord of Jesus. Because Nigerians are not confident of the goalkeepers. You know, Uzoho, John Leke, Stanley Nwabali. Nigerians don't have faith in the goalkeeping department. But again, hey, let's stay with what's happening in the camp of the Eagles. The camp opened yesterday, and some players have already dropped into camp as early birds. Atlanta forward Ademola Lookman and his England-based teammates Alex Iwobi, Ola Aino, Joe Aribo arrived in Abu Dhabi, UAE earlier yesterday, and for the start of the 1 week camping ahead of the AFCON, which holds on January 13th to February 11th in Ivory Coast. Well, Super Eagles coach Jose Pesero and his assistant arrived earlier as well, late yesterday, as preparations are expected to begin earnestly by today, this evening. So the Nigerian Football Federation had announced that all the 25 players will depart from their different bases on Tuesday for the training camp that will start later this evening. Well, the team will fly back to Lagos on January 9th and then fly to the Ivorian capital of Abidjan on Wednesday, January 10th, ahead of their opening match against Equatorial Guinea on Sunday, January 14th. Nigeria will face host nation Ivory Coast 4 days later before their final group game against Guinea-Bissau, January 22nd. So the likes of Captain Ahmed Musa, defender Kenneth Omerua were part of both of Nigeria's last triumph in 2013, are part of the squad as well. So Musa and Omerua are joined by 23 other players who have 8 debutants in that particular squad. But we are likely to have changes because we are still expecting Kelechi Iheanacho and Wilfred Ndidi, who are said to be injured, and that's where the big news comes in. Just earlier today, we hear that Royal Antwerp midfielder Al Hassan Yusuf has replaced Leicester City's Wilfred Ndidi in the Nigerian squad for the 2023 African Cup of Nations. Well, Nigeria Super Eagles media officer Babafemi Raji, I beg your pardon, made the disclosure in a statement on Wednesday. Injury update: Al Hassan Yusuf replaces Ndidi, and Kelechi Iheanacho still hopeful to join the team before AFCON commences, Raji stated. Well, Leicester City manager Enzo Maresca had confirmed that Ndidi and Iheanacho will join the Eagles camp ahead of the 2023 African Cup of Nations. Well, the 17 players have so far arrived at the camp of the Eagles that we are so sure of, and Raji confirmed that he said the likes of Musa Omero, Moses Simon, Ojo Lernleke, Alex Iwobi, Semi Ajayi, Ola Aino, Calvin Bassi, Lookman are in camp. Others are Joe Aribo, Frank Onyeka, Bruno Onyemachi, Awazim, Chidozie Awazim, Zaidu Sanusi, Victor Boniface, Onyedika, and Bright Osayi, and they'll commence training later in the evening. But it's a big blow. As far as I'm concerned, Wilfred Ndidi, who has been consistent for Nigeria over time, to be missing the African Cup of Nations, it's a big blow. I don't know what you feel about that.
Well, every Nigerian, every football lover will definitely feel the big blow that our own midfield maestro in Nigeria, Wilfred Ndidi, won't be making it to the AFCON. That when I saw that news earlier today, I felt bad actually, because he is one of the players that we can trust when you come to the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and unfortunately for Nigeria, he is out of the tournament, and we don't have option than to replace him, and he has already been replaced, just like you said earlier, by Al Hassan Yusuf. But I have a little bit issues with the replacement. I felt that this would have been an opportunity for what's his name again, Jose Pesero, to compensate the home-based players. I felt it would have been an opportunity for him to actually come back home and replace Wilfred Ndidi, because I was looking at players like what's his name again in Enyimba Daga, who played for the under-20. The guy he's permitted to use the word a beast in the midfield. Would have needed someone as strong as that in our midfield when we don't have a Wilfred Ndidi in the team. But be it as that is May. Yusuf has already been called up to replace Ndidi, and I believe this is his debut in AFCON. So I trust and I believe that Yusuf will actually find his way into the first team and show us that he is able to make us not to miss Wilfred Ndidi in this tournament.
Well, that's going to be a very big boot to fill up because you're talking about the Royal Antwerp man not really having the numbers to back it up as well.
Yeah.
He's had a handful of games for his side, Royal Antwerp, this season. They're also battling the Europa Conference League this season as well. Royal Antwerp have done a good job. They're battling the UEFA Champions League. I beg your pardon. They've had some decent games. I watched him play against FC Porto because they're in the same group alongside Barcelona and FC Porto.
Yeah.
Gave a good account of himself in that particular game. But is it what Nigerians really expected? Because you're talking about a midfielder was already depleted.
Yeah, I think we invited only 5 midfielders out of the 25.
Yeah, Onyeka, Ndidi, Aribo, and Iwobi. 5 players already depleted in midfield.
Yeah,
and they had almost similar skill set. Like I said, 3 of the 5 defensive-minded players. In fact, make that 3.5 because Joe Aribo these days is not looking like the Joe Aribo we knew when he first joined the Eagles, right? So going forward, Alex Iwobi is the only man who could tick the boxes of creating, having an eye for that pass, defense splitting pass, the vision to pick out a man.
True.
And also the ability to track back because at Fulham, at Fulham and also Everton, he had ability to mark a bit more.
Yeah.
No thanks to Frank Lampard and his style. Sean Dyche as well.
Sean Dyche.
You know, we have turned the man to a stronger Alex Iwobi, not the
feeble Alex Iwobi.
Alex Iwobi used to know. So he can do a bit of both now, create and also defend. I was expecting maybe an opportunity for Kelechi Nwakali to be drafted into the squad.
Yeah, looking at the midfield already, just like you said, we have only one creative midfielder, and I think that was one of the things that cost us the 2022 World Cup in Qatar when Iwobi came in. And it looked as if we were going to have a little glimpse of hope. That was against Ghana, and he got that red card. And it looked as if hell was let loose on Nigerians, and we lost that game. I think we played out a 1-1 draw.
I think that game you're trying to remember is the game against Tunisia in the quarterfinals of the African Cup of Nations.
I'm talking about the qualifiers of Qatar 2022 World Cup. We lost to Ghana.
Yeah, 1-0. Yeah, 1-1 here in Nigeria.
And goalless over there in Ghana, where Iwobi came in and he had a red card just in less than 10 minutes. He was on the pitch. So let's take, for instance, we are not praying that he gets another red card or he gets injured in the team. So if Iwobi gets injured or he is unable to give us what we want in a particular match, we're supposed to have someone come in for him to actually do the passes and do all the creativity in the team. If and as at now, we're not sure of Kelechi Iheanacho, who can actually also do that in the team. Now we are hearing he is injured, and we are believing that he makes it to the AFCON team. So Kelechi Nwakali would have been another option because, just like you said, we out of 5. We have 3 defensive-minded midfielders, and we have only 2 who are actually okay. You said 3.5 because of Joe Aribo, and we have only 1.5 remaining. So possibly plus or minus, we have only 1, and that's only Iwobi. So I really do not know what the plans of Jose Peseiro is if he's trying to drop Frank Onyeka to the midfield to do all the creativities, but I don't know what his plans are. So we just believe. I don't know if we can do this again based on our midfield.
Well, I don't know what your thoughts are, but keep it right there because we're trying to open the phone lines in a jiffy. 0916 0000965 or 0916 0333-965 as well. In a short while, we're trying to open the phone lines to let you have your say on the show. The replacement for Wilfred Ndidi is Al Hassan Yusuf, the man who plays for Royal Antwerp in Belgium. He joins in as a late call-up, and if Kelechi Iheanacho is not also deemed fit enough for the tournament, he will also be replaced. The likes of Terem Murphy will be somewhere praying putting their rosary in water. I get called up, I get called up by the coach late in to come in and do the job for Nigeria. All right, and still talking about the Nations Cup and the build up to the Nations Cup, Coach Jose Peseiro has been speaking, and he spoke about the team in terms of the quality.
Yeah,
he says he has the best attack in the whole of Africa.
True.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I agree.
Let's take a quote, from an interview he granted while speaking with the NFF. He said, currently the Super Eagles have the best attack on the continent, and I have evaluated the players, the situation, and I want to win the AFCON. It's my goal, my objective. Well, he spoke to the NFF. It's not going to be easy because there are other teams, but we want to fight to win the African Cup of Nations. Our group is not easy. Cote d'Ivoire is one of the favorites because they have a good squad and they are playing at home. Equatorial Guinea did better than Nigeria at the last AFCON. They got to the quarterfinals, and Guinea-Bissau beat us at home in the qualifiers. Well, speaking on the criteria for picking the players, the man says that the NSF decided that it will go with the 25, and I agree because it's not easy to manage these particular numbers. We first come up with 41, I beg your pardon. He says there are players who showed good performance in their clubs but didn't do well in the national team. Also, there are players who do well for the national team and didn't do well for the club as well. Okay, the phone lines are buzzing already, but we won't take those calls right now. We have to still talk about the Eagles. But hey, the man is saying, hey, I've gotten the best attack in the whole of Africa. I have the best attack in the whole of Africa.
True.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Is it because you have a man in Victor Boniface who is scoring goals aplenty for Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga? You have Victor Osimhen who got the Cannoneer, that's the Golden Boot Award in Italy last season.
Yeah.
Really struggling for form, but again, he's been quite good. I remember his lob and score goal just a few weeks ago for Napoli, but he's not really been the same compared to what he did last season. But again, only those two players are they the reason why we are saying we're the best attack in the whole of Africa.
Well, looking at just two players alone, we all know that they are not just the only attackers that were invited to the team. And even if we want to judge the what Jose Peseiro has said by just these two players, how do you explain a player who got into a country and for the 4 weeks or months, that he has played in Germany, he has scooped the Rookie of the Month award for 4 consecutive months. Since he stepped into Germany, he dominated. He has taken Germany by storm. So I feel and I believe that Victor Boniface is a big threat to the other African teams, and you have an African Player of the Year in the team, in the person of Victor Osimhen, who is actually, let's say he's a bit struggling because he has not been able to find the form. He actually played last season with Napoli because of injuries and some situations and circumstances surrounding him and his former coach. But since the takeover of the new coach, he has been picking up a little. He has improved better than what he did when the other coach was there. So look at the assist he got. He gave to Kvaratskhelia a few weeks ago, and that will actually tell you that he's actually coming back to the form. And we also have players like Aruna Lukman. What's his name? Ademola Lukman. Sorry.
Well, the man has been flat for the national team. Let's be truthful.
For the national team, he has been flat. But for his team, Atlanta, he has been playing so well.
How about Samuel Chukwueze is also not firing for AC Milan?
Yeah, it's a new country for him, and AC we know Italy to be I call it a strong league because he has to. Chukwueze is more like the former what do you call him, Alex Iwobi of Arsenal. He's not too strong, but he has started finding his feet in Italy, so he's beginning to pick that form that we used to know of Samuel Chukwueze. At least recently, injuries has rocked the AC Milan team, and he has been able to come in playing games back to back, and that has actually helped his form. Then looking at Omar Sadiq, that was also invited and brought into this team. I watched him last night in their game that he played last night. I know he should be on his way to Abu Dhabi today. Immediately he entered the game, they were playing a man down, but immediately he entered the game, you could feel that there is a striker here. Someone has entered.
But that same lanky striker received lots of curses in the last AFCON. You should not forget that.
Actually, I was actually one of those who was asking. Those days he would just come and he'll be looking at the screen. I'm like, guy, you're here to play football, not the screen. His eyes was more like stuck to the screen. But I believe by now he should have learned his lessons, and he should realize that we, the Nigerians, over 200 million coaches in Nigeria, we want the trophy for the fourth time. And for him to have gotten the opportunity, he was actually a surprise in the team for me. But for him to have gotten this opportunity, I know he would want to utilize it very well and let his name be in the mouth of Nigerians when you talk about the Super Eagles. So with these guys in front and with a veteran like Ahmed Musa, who is coming, who has scored in World Cups, who has scored against Argentina, and he scored, I think, in the last
Iceland.
game. He has scored against Argentina against the 4 goals. I think we scored in the last 2 World Cups that we've gone for. He has actually scored 4 out of all the goals we've scored, and we've not even scored up to 10. So having Ahmed Musa, a leader, he's a natural leader in that team. I think we have the best attack in Africa.
Well, do you agree with my explicit that Nigeria has got the best attack? Because he has just agreed to what Jose Peseiro said, that we have the best attack in the continent. Hey, Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane will be saying hi wherever they are right now. Well, let's hear from you on the show. 0916 double 0000965 0916 0000965 or 0916 0333 as well. Let's get to hear your thoughts on how big a blow is the Wilfred Ndidi's exclusion from the Eagles squad due to injury worries, and what do you also feel about Jose Peseiro's thoughts on his squad, saying his team has the best attack in the continent. 0916 0333 965 or 0916 0000965 as well. All right, let's head to the phone lines and get your reactions. Good evening to you. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome to Rapid Sports.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening. We can hear you loud and clear.
Hello.
Good evening. I can hear you. Good evening.
Hello.
We can hear you. Good evening. Welcome to the show. Hello, go ahead with the thoughts. Okay, we have to let him go. Okay. Well, send us calls through 0916 0000965 or 0916 0333 965. Hello, good evening. Welcome. Hello, good evening. Welcome. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the show. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening. We can hear you loud and clear. Welcome to the show. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. Good evening. Welcome to the show. Can you hear me? Okay, we've got some things to sort out. Hello, good evening. Welcome. All right, keep trying the line 0916 0000965. Hello, good evening to you. Welcome to the show. Radio friend, good evening to you. I can hear you. Hello, good evening. Hello, are you there? Good evening to you. Hello, good evening. Welcome. right, apologies for a little bit of a mishap there. We can take your calls, but kindly still dial the line 0916 0000965 or 0916 0333 965 as well. We've got it sorted out, and we'll